here. Boys 4x800s. Is Newton North in here?
Must be.
Yeah.
I think. Unless there's another. I don't think. No, they're not lined up for a third heat. So.
Wait, lady one. It might be them. They're black and red. Yeah, it looks like it could be them. They're the top seed. Duxbury, Mass is the second seed. Pembroke High School from Mass is the third seed with 807. Fourth, Acton Boxborough from Mass is the fourth seed. Lowell is the fifth seed. Those are all Mass teams. Hope from Providence, Rhode Island is the sixth seed with 809. Then we have the Connecticut State Open champions.
There's Glastonbury taking the early lead, now being passed by
That's. And then we have the sixth seed is Hope. Seventh seed, Xavier, State Open champs. We'll talk with them in a second. The eighth seed is Prep. Ninth is William Hall. Bishop Hendrickson, the great distance power from Rhode Island, is there in 10th.
What's that?
Coming through in 55 seconds. These guys know what they're doing here. I just told my Massachusetts producer here, that's Acton Boxborough there. Coming through in 55 seconds. These guys are running hard. Let's see if we can hold this up, but you can see how the pack strung out. Whenever the string's out, that means they're going through hard. Looks like Duxbury's in second, Glastonbury's in third.
Hall's in fourth.
Yeah, Glastonbury's the 15th seed, and they're up there right now. It looks like they're being passed. So here we come to the first exchange zone.
So Brookline won the first heat with an 808.61 officially.
That's a sub-2. And somebody went down there. Looks like Bishop Hendrickson guy went down, but he got a smooth handoff. These guys are moving. What I'm looking forward to seeing here, there's Xavier High School in Connecticut. They were Connecticut State Open champions. They went out to the Armory last Saturday. They just decided to do a little time trial. And their boys all ran like 2 flat. So let's see if they can kind of move up a little bit.
They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're in 8th place right now.
Yeah, they don't have a stud up front, but they have 4 guys.
Now 7th place as they move up.
A lot of teams, you never know what some of these teams really putting in. Like Newton North, they've got Burba, who's the number 2 seed in the 600, and they're also seed number 1 in the 4x4. So they have middle distance runners. They're good. Duxbury's right up there. These are some of the quality teams in New England. But look at how it's strung out already. Usually they stay a little close together that first leg. There's some jostling after the first leg, but no, nothing. Coming in, 1 to go. About 126. What's really interesting, a lot of these young men, they're used to setting the pace, being in charge, because they're all outstanding runners. But you come to New England level, you find out there's a bigger fish out there than you. And Connecticut doesn't, get to go against Massachusetts schools that much. Mass stays here at Reggie Lewis a lot.
358 across the line.
157 split. And Xavier has moved up into third place. Of being able to take my 4th right now.
So that's a sub-8, 756 pace.
Let's see if they have 4 runners of the same caliber.
So, Marty, how did you like to space out your runners? Obviously your anchor, you're your fastest runner, and who would be your second fastest?
It really depended on the competition. I would have 2 strategies. One, if I was pretty sure we were going to win and win by a lot, I would put my slowest runner first. so the other ones had more people to run off of. Or if it was gonna come down to it, I'd go the traditional route, my killer. A lot of times it wasn't necessarily my fast runner, but the one I knew finished the best. So a lot of times you have to take personality into account. When you were mentioning before that, it just all comes down to your times. Yeah, coaches do have some leeway. You have to know the kids. Some kids like to run from behind. Some kids like to run in front. Some kids are better pack runners. If you have a kid that doesn't like jostling, you don't put him first. You hide it and get him in third or something.
Yeah, it's actually pretty hard just to run by yourself. I think the distance runners are used to running by themselves, but the sprinters who are running like that coming to shoot for. We've got a new leader here.
That's Lowell.
Yep.
Lowell's had some fantastic teams over the years. Look at that. This just tells you how it doesn't really matter what your seeds are. Lowell's coming in 5th right now. They're taking off the lead.
Yep. And Lowell's seed time is an 8:07.
And here comes Xavier coming up on the outside.
Look at that. And Duxbury and Xavier. And look at Xavier go take the lead over Duxbury.
Now that was a questionable move. You're supposed to give your opponent a stride and a half.
And as we said before, we had Xavier in 7th place early on, so they moved all the way up.
Yeah, talking to their coach, they don't have any one good runner, but when they have 4 of them that are good, that's the important thing.
Right, and it's still, again, this is anybody's race. We got 4 guys, and now it looks like we've got a new leader.
Chef, it's just so interesting how it was strung out, and now when it comes down to it, they're all coming close together.
All right.
Let's not forget Hall High School.
Yep.
They have substituted in Miller Anderson.
Oh, that's right. We forgot about Miller.
He won the state open last week from the slow heat. Had identical times with Will Lansdowne from Staples. They had to go to the thousandths of a second to compare the fast and slow heats.
You got to give the advantage to Miller right now. He ran all by himself in that first heat. Talking about some kids totally by himself, half a lap lead. And he's just going to sprint this last. You just saw him when that bell rang. He just took off to another gear. So he's not going to be caught at this point.
And they've had such a great season, Hall. I mean, each time they keep stepping up another level. Last week, 2 weeks ago, they probably had one of the best state opens I've seen any team, and he was the main reason for it. Here he is. Here's Hall High School.
Right.
8:50 or 7:57 approximately, breaking 8 minutes.
Yeah, and they came with an 8:13 seat time, so you can see how they blew that away.
Well, that's what happens when you can drop one of your runners and put one of your best runners in. But he just looked like a machine last week, and he came back and
He's
then
looking so good. You know,
Yeah.
8:01 to qualify for the Nationals. 8:01. So any of these teams that did under an 8:01 is able to compete, not the emerging elite, but the actual regular national level. As we already have the first heat of the girls 4x2.
Now, the 4x2, each runner runs 1 lap around. It looks like they are going to run a 3-turn stagger, which means that when they get the baton, they'll stay in their lanes until the back straightaway, when they'll cut in on the back straightaway. But we're just waiting to get the official times up here. That was an exciting fast heat, though. Just the way they moved in and out, how many different leaders there were.
And this is the first section of the girls, 4x2. There are 8 sections. Oxbow Vermont, Hartford Vermont, Rice Memorial Vermont.
As we're still awaiting the official times on the 4x8.
Yeah, this is the weekend that it seems like a lot of schools a lot of states are getting their state meets or whatever. But that should definitely be top 20 in the country. Hall's
7:58.69 for Hall. So they're cycling through as the winner. We've got Duxbury 802, Xavier 803, Lowell 4th 804, Newton 807, Hope High School 807. Those are your top 6.
Hall High School, it's a great accomplishment for them. They're coached by Jeff Billings, who's the nephew of Boston Marathon champion Amby Burfa, running legend. Ran for Wesleyan and lives in, I believe, New London, someplace around there in Connecticut. And Jeff has done fantastic things, continuing the tradition of Hall High School. What an enthusiastic coach. And here we go, about 153. These top 2 teams.
Staples is 7th, 808, and Glastonbury 8th at 810.